Roger Hodge, women's basketball coach.
I'm Boy Yazzie. I'm from Arizona, and this is my first year here at Tech.
I'm Melissa Taylor. I'm a senior here at Tech.
And I'm Savannah Bailey. I'm also a senior.
Alyssa, what have you learned in your 3 years at Tech?
That the college scene is definitely different. Coming from high school, it's a lot faster paced, and you got to work a lot harder. You got to work on fine tuning those skills that you first introduced in high school and really get them down to the details once you get here.
Coach, how do you account for the production of the Justice Sisters that is now no longer here?
I don't know how you can. You're talking about the two best players in program history. And I don't think you try to replace those individually. I think that it'll be more so a group effort. I think you're going to see a little more balance among our team, but obviously very big shoes to fill.
How did that change the style of play, being a more balanced team instead of being two guards handling the ball a predominant amount of the time?
I'm not sure it changes our style as much as it does who gets the volume of shots. So our style will be very similar. But I think you're going to see, a lot more players with the ability to put the ball in the bucket.
Coach, you were pretty wanting all three of your players to be up here. What did these three mean to the program right now?
Well, first of all, the obvious is they have been voted captains by our program. I do think that it is a very positive dynamic in that we have 10 new players coming in. So I think it's interesting that the kids voted for 2 returners and 1 brand new player. So I think that is kind of a mark of where our chemistry is, that in trying to mesh new pieces with returners. And so I think that it continues to be important that we incorporate the returners with the new ones. So I did want all 3 of them.
What kind of challenges is bringing that many new faces into a program? What kind of challenges does that present for you as a coach?
Well, the obvious is just learning the system. The second piece would be they need to understand each other's style of play, and I think that's coming along. But I think the biggest challenge is chemistry, and it is a work in progress, but so far that's been very positive.
What are some strengths that this team is going to have, or that already does have, that you've been able to identify?
Well, they seem to be a group that it really doesn't matter to them who's scoring the points, who's getting the shots. I think that they are very determined to prove that, with the absence of such a talented group for a long time, that this is more their team and it's time for them to make their mark.
Alyssa, what are you looking forward to most this season?
I think I'm really looking forward to how far we're going to go this season. I truly believe that we have a very talented group, regardless of how many new faces that we have. And like Coach mentioned, the chemistry, I think it's coming along great. I have a lot of new friends, new family, new sisters, and I believe that's going to take us a long way.
And Coach, why don't you tell us a little bit about your schedule, including your first home game?
Well, last year our schedule was top 20 in the country in terms of difficulty. And, we have another very difficult schedule this year. Our first home games, I guess I should say, are in a classic that we are hosting on October 28th. That will include us, University of Cumberland's, Bluefield University, and Voorhees out of South Carolina. But also on the schedule are, Bryan College, that was a national tournament team, ranked top 15 last year, and the defending national champions are going to come to our place, Thomas More University, and that's obviously one we got marked on the schedule as well.
Alyssa, you talked about how you guys are wanting to compete and improve into this year. Where specifically are you guys looking from last year to this year?
I think one of the biggest things we got to focus on is, like you mentioned, filling that gap that people see where Brittany and Whitney left, because there's a lot of, for our offense, the defense for the other team put a lot of focus on them. So now we're not going to have that. It's going to be interesting to see how we adapt to those styles, but I think our biggest emphasis is going to be on getting to the free throw line and just keeping that power on offense, keeping that drive.
Coach Knowledge, what are you going to do personally as a head coach to help emphasize the right characteristics and character among this group of players?
You know, I think, Cody, that our culture over time kind of gravitates toward that type of thing. Within our team rules, you know, within all of our policies and guidelines, you know, we emphasize character before, you know, anything basketball-wise. We expect, you know, honesty, great effort in the classroom, in the community, as well as on the court. And, you know, I think our kids kind of respond to that as well. But I'm really glad you asked that question, because more important to us than anything, you know, success-wise, winning championships, anything else, is the character growth of these young ladies. And, you know, I got to tell you, they have been just nothing but a pleasure to coach up to this point. And, you know, I think that, you know, WVU Tech is going to be proud of how, you know, these young ladies represent.